You know, that's one thing I do like about the DCT is that you don't have to worry about putting that bad boy in gear. You know what I mean?
I know
it. You come to a stop, you don't have to be trying to find the gear. You just...
It just hold it for you?
Yep.
Goldwing Rider, a shadowy flight into the dangerous world of a man who is fearless. A young loner on a crusade to champion the cause in a world of reckless automobiles. These are my motovlogs.
Wavy, you got any New Year's resolutions?
Yeah, to get back on the Goldwing. I think that's my resolution.
Get back on the wing?
Yeah, come on back home.
Come on back to the wing.
And get all gold stripe stuff, man. That stuff look good on that bike. I gotta have all of it.
Thanks, Wavy. JC said, Chris, I don't have the new Goldwing, but after watching all your installs on those Gold Strike accessories, you make me want to buy the bike just to install the accessories. I said, more better, JC? He said, no, more gooder.
Good, that's a big difference, huh?
Yeah, he said it makes it more gooder.
Yeah, I got my hot wired on too. It's the only way to go.
Got the hot wired on?
Yeah.
And also, I'm testing out my rear view Patty Brothers rear view camera that I have installed on the 2100 Goldwing. I have the monitor here on my handlebars, and so it's a lot of light behind me, but it's actually working pretty good. I think part of the problem was I had my antennas too close together. So I'm testing that out, testing out the mount, trying to see how it performs. So far, no problem, no issues at all. Stay tuned to my channel. I'm going to install the Viofo dual motorcycle dash cam on this 2100 Goldwing. If you guys watched the video, I installed the Viofo on the 1600 Goldwing. If you guys missed that video, be sure to click on the link in the top corner. Well, I'm going to install the exact same dual dash cam by Viofo. I'm going to put it on this 2100 Goldwing. I was so impressed with it that I'm going to make the install. So Viofo is sending another dual dash cam for my 2100 Goldwing. So shouts out to Viofo all the way out overseas that watches my videos.
And nice day to be out.
Indian Challenger.
Nice day to be out.
There's Wavy on the dark horse. When we was at that light back that way, when you hit that exhaust, I thought some of my bike fell off. I had to think for a second. Hey, wait a minute, that's the exhaust from that dark horse.
It gets kind of loud.
Yeah.
When you give it throttle.
Yeah, but it sounded good though.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, it sounded real good.
How you liking it? The rear view camera?
You know what? It works actually pretty good. I think if a person is, hauling a trailer, especially a bigger size trailer, I think that's great to have. I mean, you can see behind you, kind of monitor what's coming up behind you, what's in your rear view without, having to turn your neck around, or if you're sitting at a red light, you can kind of see what's coming up behind you without looking over your shoulder. I think it's a great accessory to have on your bike, and the way I have it set up, it's not blocking my view. It's not in my way. I can, I have access, the viewable access to my side mirrors on both sides. It's not blocking any of my frontal view. It's not obstructing any of my eyesight. So far so good. It's holding its own, Wavy.
That's good.
Uh-huh. The experts said we're going to have a hard winter, Wavy.
Well, you know what? We was, I don't know where we were. We talked to a farmer This was when it was hot outside, and I guess he said the farmers, whatever that is, the almanac they use.
Right.
He said the same thing. It was going to be a terrible winter.
Yeah.
And I guess so far he's true. We had the coldest temperatures in history, so far.
Yep. So it's going to be a hard winter, so I was hoping they would be incorrect. So I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. So today I'm wearing my HJC I-90 helmet, and I'm talking to you on the Sena. Correction, I'm talking to you on my Cardo. Not my Sena. I'm talking to you on my Cardo. You know, I've been getting a lot of questions. People ask me, should I buy the Cardo or should I buy the Sena? You know, which headset should I purchase? Which one is better? You know, that is one of the biggest questions that I always get. Yeah, people want to know what's the better headset. But the reality is there is not one magic headset. You know, there's not one magic fix. You know, that's why I have the Sena. But if you would ask me which is my favorite headset, which one I like better, that would be the Cardo Black or the Pack Talk Bold, which is the same headset, minus the color.
Let me tell you what it reminds me of, that Sena and Cardo is kind of the same as Apple and Android. I think like Sena is Android and Cardo is Apple. It's exactly the same. Yep. It's kind of a preference. Like, do you prefer the iOS or the Android operating system?
Wavy, you're 100% correct, because I thought the same thing. But I'm glad you said that. But yeah, you're correct. The Sena is like Android, and the Cardo is like Apple.
And like with Cardo and Apple, it may not be as exciting, but you just know it's going to work every time. It's just 100% guaranteed to work.
Yep.
With the Android, you may have all these over-the-top features, but you know, sometimes you have a few hiccups with Android. It's freezing up and not connecting. It's like the same exact thing with the two headsets.
Yep.
Looking like we might need to head back the other way.
Yeah, we may have to, Wavy.
We're going to rain.
You want to turn and go back the other direction?
Yeah, we can.
You can go. Yeah, okay. I hadn't been back this way in a long time.
I've never been down this way.
Yeah. You know, I used to explore some of these roads. I can't remember how they, you know, exactly how they run, but I've been down them. You know, Wave, I was looking at my, you know, in my truck. I was looking at my service intervals. And I got to thinking, you know, because ever since I bought my new truck, I said, well, I'll just let the dealership service it, right? So I've been taking it to them, and they been putting a sticker up on the window, and they saying that my truck needs to be serviced every 5,000 miles. And I've been doing this for, you know, my truck now got about, 20,000 miles on it. So I've done this several times. And I got to thinking, I said, you know, I wonder what does the manufacturer, what do they call for? You know, what's the mileage that they're asking, you know, that they say we need to get the truck service. And so I called up my dealership and said, you know, I'm trying to figure out at what mileage does the manufacturer say that I need to get the truck service. And the guy got a little smart with me.
Crazy.
You know, yeah, he got a little smart with me, and I was like, well, he's like, well, I said, are you using conventional oil or are you using full synthetic? He was like, sir, we hadn't been using conventional oils in years. I said, well, why am I in here every 5,000 miles for an oil change?
I know that's right, especially if you're using synthetic.
He was like, well, do you trust your vehicle to last? He said, do you trust your mileage? Do you trust your oil to go 8,000 miles? I said, well, I trust what the manufacturer says. I said, what does the manufacturer say? So then he started getting a little sharp with me. He was like, well, I don't know. I said, what do you mean you don't know? This is a Chevrolet dealership, and you don't know what the manufacturer says, you know, on the service intervals?
Actually, cars, the computers do that for you now. They tell you when you get the oil change.
Yeah,
like it might not be 8,000, it might be 10,000. calculates how you drive, and it calculates the correct time to get an oil change.
Right. Well, the reason I brought that up, Wavy, is because you always go with what the manufacturer says. You gotta see what it is. You got a lot of dealerships out here, and they are trying to get you to come in more frequent than you're required, and as a result, you're paying for servicing earlier than what you need. So, the dealership told me, he said, well, we recommend that you come in every 5,000 miles. I said, well, what does the manufacturer say? And he was like, well, I don't know. And I'm like, well, what do you mean you don't know? He started getting a little funny with me when I called him to the carpet. But the bottom line is this. Whether it's a motorcycle or whether it's a truck or a car, look in your owner's manual and find out what the manufacturer's routine maintenance schedule says. Because the dealership may try to tell you something different. Most likely they're going to tell you less miles than what the manufacturer said. Now, when it comes to synthetic oil, the oil manufacturer says that synthetic oil can last 10,000 miles. Right? Now, when you think about it, a manufacturer like Honda, General Motors, Ford, they don't make oil. Right? They don't make oil. They actually have it made for them, or they'll have their name put on the oil that has been manufactured from the oil manufacturer or the oil companies. Well, the oil company says that synthetic oil can last up to 10,000 miles. That's what the oil manufacturer says. Well, the automobile manufacturer, they're going to give themselves a little bit of cushion, so they're going to have you come in every 8,000 miles. Because they know some people are going to run over. So you sub to run over the 8,000. You may run 500 over, or you may even run 1,000 over. So they give themselves some cushion. Well, the dealership takes it to another level and say, well, bring it in at 5,000 miles. Because that's what they recommend. But the reality is you go with what the manufacturer said. The dealership didn't manufacture the cars. The Honda dealership doesn't manufacture the bike. You go with what your service manual recommends. Just like every boat that's on a bike or a car has a certain torque setting, and that's recommended by the manufacturer. Nobody knows that better than the manufacturer. They made the bike or the automobile. They manufactured the parts for the bike or the automobile. So no one knows the bike better than the manufacturer. So these dealerships will try to get you in faster than what the manufacturers recommend and make you spend money for servicing that's probably not due for another 3,000 or 4,000 miles. And if you do that over time with a lot of customers, look how much money that dealership is making.
They get paid off commission in the service department, and they are trained to sell you stuff that you don't need, like all this fuel additives. These new cars don't need fuel additives.
Right.
Like every time you go in, you want a fuel additive, the fuel treatment. I'm like, nah, I used to build cars and race cars. They don't need no darn fuel additive. We're not racing.
That's right. The gas already got detergent in it.
And then, right now it's a car recession, so some dealerships are staying open only because of the service department, so they're going to do predatory, they're going to get real predatory and aggressive with the maintenance.
Right.
Sell you stuff you don't need.
Right. And that's the problem. That is the problem. Upselling you. I went to get fuel not long ago, and while I was at the gas station, the lottery was up like, what, 500 million or something?
Yeah, I saw that.
So I went in to pay for I actually bought fuel at the pump, but I said, I'm going to buy a lottery ticket while I'm getting fuel. So I had $2 in my hand. I went to the counter. I handed the cashier the $2. I said, let me get a quick pick on the Mega Millions. I think it was Mega Millions. It was either Mega Millions or Powerball. I don't remember. But I said, here's $2. Let me get a quick pick. And the first thing came out the cashier's mouth, do you want the power play? I said, well, can I get the power play with $2? And they just kind of looked at me and said, no. I said, well, I want to get what I can get with the $2 that I just hand you. So they gave me a quick pick. But the whole point of that is, to agree with you, Wavy, you got a lot of these companies, everybody's trying to upsell you. They trying to give you more than what you want to get more money. But, back to the dealership, I don't plan on taking my truck back to that dealership that tried to, they tried to get over on me. And the only reason I haven't been doing it myself is because, I make money, Wavy. Sometimes you don't feel like sliding up under your vehicle. Sometimes you don't feel like getting your hands dirty. And you're like, you know what, let me go pay some. Let me help the small guy. Let me help, let me pay someone to do it. So, I could change my own oil. But anyway, I've been going in every, 5,000 miles getting my oil changed. Actually, less than 5,000. According to the sticker that they put up on the window. But the reality is, you need to go by what the manufacturer says. I mean, you can get your oil changed 3,000 miles earlier if you want, but you're spending money that you probably don't really need to spend. You can probably push that oil another 3,000 miles, because if you're going to treat your synthetic oil like conventional oil, then you might as well just run conventional oil.
Yeah, give me the cheap oil. Give me the $30 oil change then.
There you go. You might as well just run regular.
Instead of the $100 oil change, give me the $30 conventional oil.
Right. If I'm changing my oil faster than it needs to be changed, then why don't I just go with, conventional oil? But if I'm going with synthetic oil, which is better, quote unquote, better than conventional oil, and it lasts, 3 times as longer, then why am I coming in here at every 5,000 miles to get an oil change when the manufacturer clearly states every 8,000 miles with a full synthetic oil change? So I want everybody to chime in on this video and let me know what you think about dealerships trying to get you in and make you service your bike faster than it actually needs, whether it's your bike or your automobile. And, Wave, that wasn't the first time that happened. When I had first bought my 2016 Goldwing, right there on Mount Moriah, right there in Memphis, Honda of Memphis said that I need to come back in at 500 miles, and I need to get my oil changed at 500 miles for the break-in oil.
Yeah.
And I actually did. I came back in, and I got the oil change at 500 miles. Well, a little bit later, maybe, 1,000 miles or so, maybe a couple thousand miles later, I was looking through my manual, and I noticed that it said the first oil change is due at 4,000 miles. And I'm looking through the book, I'm like, well, if they're saying 4,000 miles, but Honda of Memphis is saying 500 miles, who is correct? So
the manufacturer every time.
Right. So a little bit later, to fast forward the story, I was up in Jackson, Tennessee at Bob's Honda. I was getting some work done on the bike, and I asked their service department, I said, listen, I bought this bike brand new. Honda of Memphis had me to come in at 500 miles to drop the oil, to put fresh oil in. The guy looked at the book, he pulled out the paper, he said, the manufacturer says 4,000 miles on your first oil change. I said, well, Honda of Memphis says 500. And he clearly told me, you go with what the manufacturers recommend. Because they the one that warranty the engines. They the one that warranty the bike. If they're wrong, for some reason, your viscosity break down and the oil locked your motor up or something, the manufacturer is the one that's going to warranty the work, not the dealership. The dealership can perform the work and get reimbursed from the manufacturer. But the manufacturer is the one that actually warranties the work. And if you're following your service, your maintenance, your routine maintenance schedule according to the manufacturer's schedule, then you are within specs. You are doing what they recommend. So if something were to happen and your engine lock up or if your oil fail or something like that, then they're responsible because you're following their recommended schedule. So once again, if you get the oil change sooner, you know, you may be spending money that you don't necessarily have to spend because you got your bike or your automobile serviced faster than it needed. It's not going to hurt it if you get it serviced faster, but you might be spending unnecessary money.
It's crazy. And that 500 miles, that's an American bike thing. And like the American bikes have to come in 500 miles.
Right. And that's what he told me. He said not on the Goldwing. He said on certain bikes, yeah, you want to drop the oil, you know, at 500 miles. But he said not on the Honda Goldwing. The book says 4,000 miles, and that's when your first oil change is due. So,
and I think Goldwing engines actually come already broke in. I think they break those in at the manufacturer, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay. You might be right.
So they test all of them.
Yeah, I just thought that was, you know, he kind of rubbed me the wrong way because he got kind of like, well, do you trust your oil to last 8,000 miles? I said, well, I trust what the manufacturer says. I said, what do the manufacturer say? Well, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? You're a Chevrolet dealership and you don't know what the manufacturer says when to service the trucks? So everybody is out to get in your pocket. Everybody is out to make a dollar. You know, I guess it is what it is, Wavy.
And it is what it is. Yeah, I can't wait to get back on one just peaceful on the Goldwing. Oh, you know, it's quiet, listen to some jazz back here. I got so much going on. Gears cracking, engine loud, shaking, you know. I guess it's an American experience, but I don't want it.
Right. Yeah, that wing, man. Once you get used to riding a Goldwing, it's hard to, you know.
Yeah,
and I get it. You know, there's a lot of different varieties of bikes, you know. But you know, I'm kind of biased to the wing, so.
And see, that's what I tell the guys that love American bikes. They think I'm crazy. I was like, well, you can't say that. I said I can honestly judge them because I've had them all. I've had two Goldwings. I've had 3 American bikes, and so I've experienced them all. So I can give you my honest opinion on them.
Right.
Once you get on the Goldwing, it ruins you. Like you can't. There's nothing else you can ride.
I remember you doing a video on the, I think you did a video on the best touring bike.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you did a video on the best touring bike.
No, that Pursuit is a good one, though, the one Tio got.
Oh, okay.
It's the only bike that can pretty much run head-to-head with the wing.
What does he have?
That Indian Pursuit.
Oh, he got the Pursuit?
Yeah, it runs head-to-head with the wing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like if you're on a wing and you want to go American, that's the bike you'll have to get to be able to, you know, even just deal with it.
Right.
Like even him though, he still kind of want that DCT. That DCT takes it to a whole nother level of relaxing and enjoying the ride. It just frees up another part of your mind.
I think so you can
focus on the road.
Yeah, that's one of the things I really like about the DCT is when you come to a stop, you don't have to worry about trying to find the gear. You know how sometimes you may be on your bike and, you know, you might even need to buckle your helmet. You may realize, wait a minute, I didn't buckle my helmet. Yeah. So you get to the red light and maybe you need to buckle it really quick. Well, with the manual Goldwing, the previous generation, you're sitting there trying to, you know, find your neutral so you can, you know, let go of your clutch, buckle your helmet up if your helmet was loose. Well, if you're sitting there trying to find the gears, you know, by the time you find it, the light turned green.
I know it. Or even like me, you know, I'm sitting to pull my phone up behind the bar, you know, shoot some video if I see something nice.
Yep.
Then you get to a point where all of a sudden you got to stop. I'm like trying to figure out what to do with the phone so I can grab the clutch real fast.
Right. Yep.
I think I dropped a while. I broke an iPhone like that.
Oh, you did?
I did a nice video. I had to stop all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I had to just let the phone go.
Remember I was showing you that mount
Yeah.
Like you could actually take your camera and then turn it to where it's just like you're just riding on the side, and it does the work for you.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I know it. That's game changing.
Yeah, that's what I need to be doing right now. That's the game changer there, Wavy.
That's the G14 classified mount. Like right now, I need to put my glasses on, my shades on. I was just hoping that light didn't catch me so I could put my shades on.
We can pull over.
I think I got it. See, if I was on that DPT, I don't even have to worry about that.
Right. I'm showing 64 on the air temp, Wavy.
Yeah, that's what I'm showing.
I got this old heated seat on. This toasty. Does yours got heated seat?
Nah, the Bagger don't. The Pursuit does.
Oh, okay, the Pursuit does. Now you got the what, Challenger?
It's the Bagger version of the Pursuit. Just like the same as the Goldwing and Goldwing Tour. They can set them up exactly the same.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if I ever even need a heated seat again since I got the hardwired pants.
Right.
Like even when I had my road master with the heated seat, the pants was my preferred choice when I needed it.
Right.
Now that seat was good if you just get caught in a situation where the temperature drops.
Big dog status, I'm a big dog vet. I pull up on the block in a big Corvette. Yeah. Ride around the city with a stick all black. Try with a stroke, but we ain't with all that. Made $1 million and I can't go back. Got a lot of jewelry on me, can't hold that. 12 asking better, tell him that I ain't so crack. Know your money long when your people can't afford that. I'm ballin', yeah. My mama told me that I did my calling. I keep that stick, I don't do no brawling. Open out the doors and let them all in here. Yeah, they all in here. Big dog, we come out the pound, so we big dog. Heavy patty got me break my wrist off. I'm young out of rocket, about to lead dog. 3, 2, 1, I got big dog status, I'm a big dog vet. I pull up on the block in a big Corvette.